Hey, friends, how are you? Happy Monday, happy yay day, happy whatever day you're catching this. This is week 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, week 4 of the Everyday Ritual series here in the Sacred Terrapin space. I'm pausing because all of a sudden I'm not sure if I'm live in Sacred Terrapin. Someone who pops on, please tell me if I'm live in the Sacred Terrapin group. So this is week 4. We're talking about meditation and mindfulness. Or mindfulness and meditation, whichever way you want to say it. So, hello. Say hey to me in that conversation box down below so that I know that you're catching this video. And let me know if you're catching me live or if you're recycling the video. Before I go any further, let me introduce myself. Hey everyone, my name's Angela. I am the creator and founder of Sacred Terrapin Space and our premium sister community called Sacred Collective. I'm a coach, a healer, a medium, and intuitive, and I enjoy helping women, right? I'm passionate about helping women take ancient sacred knowledge about the rhythms of the moon and the earth and apply them to their everyday life. Hello, Deanna. Hello, Katie, who I know is going to be watching with Deanna. How are you both? Deanna, are you confirming that I'm in Sacred Terrapin, which is where I'm supposed to be? Because I would like to make sure that I'm in that group. All right, so Deanna says live. Hola, Deanna. So today I want to talk to you about meditation, mindfulness, and why this is an important aspect of everyday rituals. So when we are talking about manifesting, when we're talking about doing any kind of magic, anything like that, it takes what I call intention. It takes being able to focus our mind in one direction and to hold that focus. So if we're focusing our mind in that one direction, holding that focus, it's incredibly important that that we're not distracted by thoughts like I just was, right? Like we're not distracted. So using something like meditation or mindfulness practices helps us to build that muscle, our brain. It helps us to train our brain to stay focused on what it is that we're talking about. So this is super duper important. This is why I encourage and do right inside the paid community. I offer meditation on a regular basis because it's important that we're doing this on a regular basis to exercise this muscle so that when we are ready to do a moon ritual or to manifest or to set intentions or whatever that is, that we can focus that intention and thereby focus our energy, all of the energy in our being going to one place, right? Okay, so what is the difference between meditation and mindfulness? You let me know what your guesses are, and while you're doing those guesses, I'm going to tell some of our friends that we're having this conversation. So again, the question is, what is the difference between meditation and mindfulness, or is there a difference between the two? Let me know your guesses. Okay, so mindfulness is a practice, right, where we're focusing our mind, where we're focusing our thoughts. Meditation is one way that we can practice mindfulness. There are numerous ways, and there are numerous kinds of meditation. Did you know that? Tonight, I want to talk to you about mindfulness. I want to talk to you about meditation. I want to give you examples of some of these things. So mindfulness is being aware in the present moment, right? Mindfulness is being like aware of what we're thinking, what's going on in our body, what's going on around us in this present moment. It is the absence of worrying about the future or worrying about the past, or anxiety about the future or anxiety about the past. It's right here, right now, focused on exactly what's going on. So you can practice mindfulness by mindfully eating. Have you ever seen or heard about mindful eating before? You can choose to be eating a salad or something, and you're focusing on what you're putting in your mouth. You're focusing all of your attention, right, on what does it look like, what does it feel like, what does it taste like, all of those things. So mindfully eating is one way that we can center ourselves. You can do an exercise that I call the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise. That was me trying to do my fingers fast enough. Didn't work. But by doing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise, we're using our 5 physical senses to pull our attention into our body, into the present moment. So an easy way to do this is to say, what are 5 things that I see right now in my environment? You tell me, What are 5 things that you see right now in your environment? Go ahead and put them in that conversation box. For me, I see my glass of water. I have a cat right here. I have a computer. I have a cat tree, and I see a window. There's lots of other things, but I only need to list 5. So 5 things I see. What are 4 things that you can touch? I can touch my shirt. I can touch my hair. I can touch the cat. I can touch the desk. I could touch my nose. I could touch my fingertips. I could touch my necklace. I could feel the texture of my shirt. But so 4 things. What are 4 things that you can touch? So we have what we see. We have what we can touch. What can you hear? What are 3 things that you can hear? I hear my neighbors above me. I hear a humming that's probably electronics, and I hear the cat purring. What are 2 things that you can smell? Even if you can only smell your boogers inside your nose, like you can smell things, right? So what are 2 things you can smell? And what is 1 thing you can taste? Maybe you just got done eating something. I can taste fig in my mouth because I got done eating a fig. Maybe it's like staleness, stale coffee, right, in your mouth. But what is 1 thing that you can taste? So this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise that I just went over very quickly, right? There's a example of it in that paid community that I have, is a way to bring our mind straight here to the present moment. Our shirt and our taste don't exist in the future or the past. They exist right now. So it's a way of like directing our mind to stop with the cycling of thoughts. Like, what do I have to do later? What is my list? What is my grocery list? What are the chores I have to do? All the things. It's stopping our mind from cycling all of the stuff in the past, right? Like, oh, I did that one thing, and oh, like that. Mindfulness. So meditation is a form of mindfulness, right? And there are tons of other ways to do mindfulness, but meditation is one of them. And there are a ton of ways to do meditation. So the general idea with meditation, right? The very general sort of descriptor of meditation, I would say, is that we're changing our brainwaves by practicing mindfulness. Changing your brainwaves by practicing mindfulness. Hello, Miss Whitney. So when we meditate, it can be for a longer duration of time. You can do different types of meditation, or it can be a shorter amount of time. So one of the tips I want to share with you tonight is that I would like, if you've never meditated before, I would encourage you not to jump into a 20-minute meditation, to start yourself off with 1 minute. 1 minute. Your daily ritual can be 1 minute. And we're going to talk in a second about why we practice mindfulness and meditation in our daily ritual, but it can be 1 minute to start out. Okay, you can download the Insight Timer. That's one of my favorite apps, right? You can use it to time yourself for 1 minute so you don't have to keep peeking to see if the time's up yet, right? 1 minute of just focusing on your breath. Just close your eyes and focus on your breathing. You don't even have to change your breathing when you're just starting out. Just notice it. And when your mind naturally goes to think of other thoughts, because that naturally happens, notice the thought and then let it go and come back to your breath, right? So I'm sitting here thinking of my breathing, and then I think to myself, right, like there's this thing I need to do, and I say, thank you. I'll come back to that. Right now I'm focusing on my breath for this 1 minute. So once you do 1 minute and you've practiced a little bit, go to 3 minutes, right? Go see if you can do 5 minutes, change the timer to 5 minutes. And once you get up to 5 minutes, you can start to learn about breath and change your breathing. You can start to look for guided meditations, again, in the Insight Timer, right? There are different things that you can start to do a body scan, where if you know about your chakras, you can either go through your chakras and just kind of feel them or envision them. You can focus on one and do an exercise with the one chakra, or you can scan your whole body and just feel how it feels. Like, where are you holding tension? I invite you to do that right now. Close your eyes. And just notice if any part of your body starts to get your attention. What parts of your body do you naturally feel right away without scanning? Right? Maybe it's a shoulder, maybe it's your hands, maybe it's your back. Maybe you're like using your shoulders earmuffs, right? Release those. But so mindfulness, right? There's lots of different ways we can do this. And then from 5 minutes, we move to 10 minutes into a meditation practice, and then maybe to 20 minutes. And then we can expand it out to 30 minutes or an hour. But if you don't have a regular meditation practice, jumping into 20 minutes is a lot. It's a lot. And when we jump into big things, like we take like a really big jump, that's where we're more likely to fall off and stop doing it as part of our everyday ritual. It's better to do 1 or 2 or 3 minutes consistently every day than to do 20 minutes once a month. If you do 2 minutes every day, you'll have an hour done at the end of the month, as opposed to that 20-minute, because there was only once that you could do the 20 minutes. So start small and build it. It's like a muscle that we build and we exercise. So I said that there's different types of meditation. You might be familiar with guided meditation, where you close your eyes and you listen to someone who either directs your attention to different areas in your body or directs your attention on a journey that you imagine going on, right? So guided meditation is one kind of meditation. Contemplation is another kind of meditation, where we choose one energy or one focus or one word, and that is what we focus on during the meditation. So maybe it's the sound, right? So that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to close our eyes, we're going to breathe, we're going to and when a thought comes in, because it naturally happens, because you're a human and you have a human brain, and if you're not a human, we should chat, because I'm curious how you're on Facebook. But because you're a human, right, you focus, your focus sometimes like gets skippy and thoughts come in, and so you're but you're also thinking about the thoughts, and you say, no thoughts, I'm going to direct my attention back to this sound, back to this word, back to what it means for me. Contemplation meditation could also be you asking a question, you wanting to channel and receive information about a question that you have or something that you're curious about. So perhaps that's what you're focused on, right? You're focused on receiving information around that. Meditation can also be active. You could actively stretch and meditate, focusing right on your breath and on the actual stretch, feeling each part of your muscle. So it's focusing your attention in a purposeful way, right, for a duration of time. Maybe you want to do walking meditation. I love doing walking meditation. It's one of the best things I learned about in grad school. Walking meditation is when you go for a walk, but you are completely in the moment in your body. So every foot, you feel your heel, you feel the middle of your foot, you feel your toes. You're super focused. You're focused on everything around you. You're in the present moment and you're noticing everything. You're noticing the colors, noticing the trees, you're noticing if there's any animals or anything on the ground. You might notice people, but you also, when your brain starts to spin, you notice a person, you're like, da da da, and we start to make up stories about people in our heads. We bring our attention back to the fact that we're doing a walking meditation. And we bring our attention back to, I feel my feet. I feel my breath. What do I notice around me? So there's lots of different ways to do meditation. There's quantum meditation, right? There's focusing just on your breath and manipulating your breath. Did you know that there's a ton of different ways to breathe? And they all have very specific purposes. So let's do an example. I'll take a deep breath in. And this time when you let it out, I want you to sigh it out loud. Like if someone's around you, I want them to be able to hear you. So you take a deep breath in. And you sigh it out and you go, ah, right? You get the breath out, but you make the noise. And naturally, when we exhale with that intention and making that noise, our body naturally releases stress. With the air that's coming out, stress and tension comes out, and you start to feel your body naturally sink back down. So there's tons of ways to do meditation. There's tons of ways to practice mindfulness. Your invitation is to find one that feels good or that you want to try on and see how it is and incorporate it into your morning or your PM rituals. Or if you're like me, both. I do a little bit of meditation every night before bed. I don't do my big ones before bed. I do a little bit because it helps me come back down. The reason that it helps us come back down when we practice meditation or mindfulness is because it moves our body out of fight, flight, super active, taking in all the things, trying to process all the things, right? And it brings us to rest, repose. In our modern society, many of us are living in a fight, flight stage with high stress levels, high cortisone, high stress hormones, like all of the things in us. But when we can practice a little bit of meditation on a regular basis, we start to change our brain chemistry. We start to change the way that our body naturally reacts. We start to reprogram where thoughts go so that they don't instantly go to, oh my God, that might be a dinosaur that's chasing me, to, I'm going to notice that. I'm going to allow it. I don't have to freak out over it. So we start to shift the way that we respond to our environment, the way that we respond to life. So I said at the beginning of this live that part of the reason that we do an everyday ritual of mindfulness and or meditation is because it helps us focus our mind, right? Focus where we're looking, where we're headed, because then when we're manifesting with the moon or when we're doing a spell, we need that intention, and we've grown and developed this ability to focus, not get distracted by the monkey brain and all the weirdness and all the things around us. We can control our brains. Other reasons that you might want to practice mindfulness and meditation on a regular basis is that it improves your sleep. And sleep is when we regenerate ourselves. It's when healing occurs. It's when our brain sort of like comes down and like can do the organizational stuff it needs to do. Sleeping helps our focus, and meditation and mindfulness also help our focus. They help calm that energy in our brains, in our minds, so that we're more able to focus. You might find that your stress decreases if you practice meditation or mindfulness on a regular basis. You might find your concentration improves. You might find that you are more aware of your body. How many of you have ever had like one of those really crazy busy days and you forgot to eat? I guarantee you that our bodies don't forget to eat. It's that we're so busy up here that we forget to like connect to our bodies, right? Like our head's up here and our body's down here. And so practicing mindfulness and meditation helps us become aware of our bodies so that we don't do things like forget to eat. Eating is important. We're literally giving our brain fuel and our body fuel to do all the things that it does for us, right? It also, meditation and mindfulness can help you become a clearer channel. And what I mean by that is many people in this group receive what I call downloads, right? Information from source. And when we practice meditation and mindfulness, it allows us to become a clearer channel so that we can receive the information without our brain going all over the place thinking about all the things. Does that make sense? Melissa says she forgot to eat today. Melissa, eat. But she had lots of water. That's good. Yes, I'm seeing Whitney and Deanna mention the T-Rex brain versus the dolphin brain. So this is something that Jen Kohler, who's one of the leaders in this group, talks about in the program that she runs called Brain Game, where you train yourself to think differently. And what Whitney and Deanna are talking about is that the dolphin brain, think of the dolphin like playful and it flows and it's smooth, right? That's rest repose. That's like that calmer state of being. Whereas the T-Rex brain, the T-Rex has like little arms, like ready to like eat anything or attack anything, right? Has like a little brain. And that's like fight and flight that I was talking about, right? Excellent. Whitney says, quiet meditation is a new intention I'm doing for 10 minutes each AM and PM. The AM is right after the celery drink, so I can vision it healing me. I love that. I love that. So Whitney offers a perfect example of how we can do visual or guided meditation ourselves. We don't always have to listen to something else, right? Whitney can drink her juice and then imagine it flowing into her body and how it's changing her cellular structure, right? I do this when I drink crystal or moon elixirs, right? So I picture the moon energy and that intention in that elixir and how it's flowing in my body and what it's doing. That's an excellent example, Whitney. Katie and Deanna are going to do a walking meditation this week. I cannot wait to hear about it, ladies. That's going to be amazing. Melissa says, my husband does that breath thing when he is here at home working. Yeah, he's letting that stress out. Definitely. It's a good thing to do when you're working, right? You don't want to be holding that stress inside. Deanna says, Katie says, no, she doesn't forget to eat. Good job, Katie. Good job being connected to your body. Yes, the BFG. All right, so with that, I invite you to consider, if it feels good to you, for the reasons that we've discussed and lots of other reasons, to incorporate either a mindfulness or a meditation practice as part of one of your daily rituals. AM or PM or both, or maybe you're going to do it at noon, right? I know when I was working at the firm, around noon, around lunchtime, I would purposely be intentional for a minute about my breath to shift my energy, because I did tend to sometimes go into fight and flight in that environment, right? So come back down, like let out some of the tension in my body. So you can do it whenever you would like to. With that, thank you, Whitney. With that, I'm going to let you go. Remember that there's accountability part of this program that's over in the paid community, and there are only 5 spots left at that $28 mark. So after those 5 spots are full, the price is going up because there's months worth of material in there, and it should be valued at a higher price, right? I'm just being generous in giving the founding members a lesser amount that they can lock in. So with that, if you want in there, let me know. Otherwise, how are you going to use this week? Will you commit to 1 minute, 3 minutes? What feels good to you? Katie and Deanna already committed to the walk this week. I'm super excited to hear about that. Whitney has committed to an AM and PM mindfulness or meditation ritual, along with her celery juice and other things she does. So let me know. With that, hugs and kisses, everyone. Stay wild, Moonchild.